Just like you, I've been pretty sick and tired of big tech making large encroachments into our daily lives, from the worsening of the user experience, price gouges of services we once upon a time had at a more reasonable price, the data collections, mass surveillance. I could go on, but I don't have Johnny Silverhand's cool hair, nor do I hold the absolute disdain of technology that Ted Kaczynski once had. But just like you, I love technology, which brings you to this video. My journey to Linux, more specifically CachyOS. It's not a thing, but I'm making it a thing. So bringing the calendar back before 2025, that was me at my computer wondering why my Windows 10 PC, which is rocking an i5 9400F 6-core CPU RTX 2070 card, wondering why my PC couldn't upgrade to Windows 11. And when I started to look into it, the reason why I couldn't upgrade my PC to Windows 11 was due to lacking the TPM 2.0 module on either my CPU or motherboard. Now, at the time, I wasn't really too fussed to really look into it or even try to figure out what to do, because this was before, 2025, and the Windows 10 end of life was going to happen on October 14th of the next year. So I was like, you know what, who cares? I'll deal with this at a later problem. But as more information came out with Windows 11 and the date drawing near, I was just thinking to myself, okay, what am I going to do? Windows 10 isn't great, but I'm able to play my games. I'm able to, just do what needs to be done on my PC, browse, look on Reddit, all of that. But when I said, okay, what's actually going to be the benefit of going to Windows 11? And honestly, it was just more of the same, more Windows bloat, Angry Birds on the desktop, like innocuous applications, AI. I don't really use AI like that. So this is around May/June time, and I was like, okay, I don't really care so much about going to Windows 11. I mean, I'm kind of locked out anyways, and I'm not going to throw away my PC and get a new one, and I'm not going to do that. So I was like, okay, how about I demo Linux on like a laptop? So that brings us to this machine down here. This is a very old, beefy laptop. It's got a CD disk drive. Like this is some pretty mint old school technologies. But basically, I don't even know what CPU it has. I'll probably have a giant screen of everything on the screen. But basically, I was like, you know what? Let me install Arch Linux on this bad boy, and let me tell you, it actually increased the speed a lot on my PC. So I was like, you know what? I'm pretty happy and I'm pretty confident to make the move from Windows to Linux on my main desktop PC. So October 14th was it was like a very exciting day for me, because that was when I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to install Linux on my desktop PC and I'm just going to rock with it. But before I did that, I actually wanted to do some benchmarks. Like I said earlier, I am a gamer. So I was like, you know what, let me actually just capture some footage on both Windows and eventually Linux when I made the move. So yeah, I'll just kind of cut it to the footage, and my future self will have a disembodied voice over the gameplay footage. Yeah. I have no mouth and I must scream. Maybe Leah. Black Ops 3, 1080p resolution, refresh rate 165 hertz. Pretty much playing on ultra settings. Everything's maxed out, I guess, except motion blur. Gross. But as expected, on Windows, Black Ops 3 runs relatively well. I mean, 95% market share or whatever. Yeah, just throwing grenades, reloading, shooting. It all feels good. And onto Linux. Yeah, as you can see, it is a bit of a performance hit, but I'm still landing on quick scopes though. Quick scopes, look at that. Still relatively smooth, very manageable, wouldn't take that hit. But as you can see here, Windows getting 80 odd frames. Yeah, 80 odd, and Linux it's around 55 odd frames. Yeah, performance hit, but I'm still, playing on max settings. Next game, it's Dying Like the Beast, very well optimized, modern release, playing on medium quality. Yeah, as you can see on Windows, I'm getting like 65 odd frames. It plays very well. I haven't really had a chance to play as much as I'd like to because Arc Raiders. Question for another day, game for another day, I mean, or video for another day. I'm really messing up on this comparison. This ain't no Digital Foundry. But anyways, Linux, 30 FPS. It's not great, but I am recording, so I am taking a performance hit. But yeah, 60 odd frames on Windows, 30 odd on Linux, 35 odd. Next game, it's No Man's Sky. Playing it on high settings. On Windows, it runs relatively well, as you can see, flying to the top of the stratosphere. But it's really on and off with No Man's Sky. Sometimes it's 20 FPS, other times it's at 80, 90. And as you can see here with Linux, right, it's around 50, 60, 70 odd frames. So it's not really much of a performance hit on Linux, but as you can see, here's a comparison. 80 odd, 90 odd on Windows, 60 odd on Linux, but again, different planets and stuff. But this is Oddball Choice, Tools of Destruction, Ratchet and Clank. This is on the RPCS3 emulator. Now on both Windows and Linux, I can play it at 4K, but when I record, it doesn't like it, and I get bad frames on both ends. So I'm recording at 1080p. Windows footage you just saw, a little behind, was playing well, but on Linux, as you can see, it's a bit dire. 15, 17, 15 FPS. But again, if I don't record, I can play both on 4K, no issues. But yeah, when I record, it's a bit of a mess. Anyways, on to the next one. Oh, look, it's me, my body. Anyways, playing Boneworks, medium settings on my Valve Index. Steam frame, who's ready for that? I am. Anyways, as you can see, it plays really well. Just 50 odd frames, can't complain. Reloading, shooting, and headshots. Yep. Zombie games are tight. Anyways, Linux, it's a bit dire, to be honest. It's really felt, especially when wearing the headset, but I'm still landing them shots. Still dodging. Look at that. Ooh, skills. Look at that. Look at that maneuverability. Those reflexes. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely doable to play, but I wouldn't be recording all the time, so I'll be getting more frames. But anyways, that's all 5 games tested. I'll just pass it back to me. Me? Hey. Yeah, thanks, me. So, yeah, as you can see, like, I'm able to play all the games that I usually play on Windows, on Linux, without that much of an issue. Yes, it is very noticeable, the performance hit I'm taking with the transition over to Linux, but bear in mind, I am recording the footage at lossless quality, so just basically, I'm saying add like 10 frames to what you're seeing from the Linux capture performance, and that's basically what I'm getting. Like, yeah, it's just a slight difference in terms of, you know, playing without recording, but yeah, like, it was a big surprise to me that I was able to run all these games utilizing Proton and even, you know, the Valve Index capture. I was very surprised by that with Boneworks. But now I want to come into the issues. But to prefix these issues I'm about to outline is I had quite a lot of time with Linux at this current moment. So it's currently the 2nd of November. And I did want to record this video a lot sooner, but life happens, delays happen. So I had quite a lot of times to just go through all the issues and kind of navigate that transition to Linux. So issue number 1, the etc/fstab. So basically I needed to mount my SSDs. So I got my primary SSD, which is hosting the OS. I have 2 SSDs. Yes, 2 SSDs, 1 NVMe, and 1 hard drive, which, you know, is just documents, pictures, you know, all that stuff. Now, the 2 SSDs and the NVMe, they had my Windows games on them, and they had the Windows file format, which is NTFS or something. And I figured, hey, why do I need to reinstall my games or format this drive when I could just log into Steam on my new Linux machine and just basically point to those drives, like within, the actual Steam folder. So I did that, and it worked. I was able to actually point to those drives and actually play. But the issue came was when I restarted my PC, and then I'd have to do the whole process again. So that's when I was like, all right, I need to actually mount these drives using etc fstab, which kind of basically points to those drives when my PC boots up. Now, I did that. There was no issues, but at one random point, I don't know why, but like I booted up my PC one day and it just didn't want to boot up. And then when I looked into the actual issues as to why I didn't want to boot up, like it basically popped up with the terminal just saying basically can't boot, and I needed to look at the journal to understand what was going on. I have a footage of my reaction, and you can see basically what I tried doing. But now it just boots right into the emergency mode. I try to exit it, but it just doesn't want to exit. And sometimes my keyboard doesn't work. So, yay. So I've attempted restarting my PC several times and hoping it would just not go to the emergency mode, but I feel like what I did to the fstab is causing an error. As you can see, I was pretty darn scared of what was going on after not being able to boot into my Linux system. But in a gist, what I did was I just formatted those drives in ext4 format, and I just re-downloaded the games and mounted the drives using etc fstab, and everything was fine. But yeah, the next issue I had is to do with NVIDIA. Now, I'm not going to do a Linus Torvalds and do a middle finger to the camera, but I'm doing it mentally. The reason why is on Linux, we don't have the most up-to-date drivers. Now, I don't have the driver version numbers on my mind, but I have I'll show it on screen. But basically, the last time Linux received any NVIDIA drivers was 30th of September. Now, for Windows, their last driver update was on the 14th of October, which kind of funny. It falls in line with the Windows 10 end of life, but that's just my my thought. But why are we so behind on the drivers? I'm trying to boot up Dying Light the Beast. I mean, yeah, it still runs fine on the driver version I'm running on, which is great. But every time I boot up, it says you are not on up-to-date drivers. Update your drivers. I'm like, all right, I'm on the most up-to-date drivers, so come on. Why am I getting this notification? NVIDIA, please. I'm just dreaming of AMD. But yeah, that's kind of the issues I've had. In the grand scheme of things, it's very minor. So I'll just transition over to the pros. I've got a list right here. I mean, it's not really much to gloat about. I mean, there's quite a bit, but fast performance. My PC boots up a lot faster than when it did when I was using Windows. As well as that, apps are far more responsive. Everything just pops up a lot faster now. It's great. Pro number 2, Wine/Proton, which I'll say. So thanks to Valve, and I think the company is called Code Weavers, they have allowed Windows applications to run natively within Linux. Now, I'm not going to re-explain as if I know how it works. All I know is it just works. I can run basic Windows executables using Linux or on Linux. Games, Proton, I can run Windows native games on Linux. That's amazing. It's phenomenal. There's a reason why Steam Deck is so successful, and why Linux in the current year is as successful it is. I can't speak, but I'm just going to continue. Number 3, zero bloat. I don't have AI. I don't have ads when I click on the start menu. Like, it's great. Zero telemetry. Like, must I go on? Number 3 or number 4, I lost count. The file viewer and alternative apps. Like, Microsoft Office is great. Like, I'm not going to like lie, but there's this application called OnlyOffice. I'll probably have it flashing on screen. Like, I like the fact that I can have a single instance of OnlyOffice, and it has basically an Excel equivalent, has a PDF equivalent, has Windows. So basically, has those mini applications within the singular app, which is really cool. The file viewer has tabs. Like, how has Windows not got this yet? I don't know. And I guess the last pro I can give is that it's just been so much fun making this journey, making this leap from Windows to Linux, specifically Cachy. Like, it's been so much fun using my computer and actually learning about it, getting things to work, having those issues and being like, damn, this sucks, I just want Discord to work. But when you actually sort it out and resolve those issues, it feels great. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing. I have a documentation too. I don't know if this is still part of the same pro, but the documentation is great. The Arch Wiki, the CachyOS Wiki. It's just been phenomenal. But yeah, that's kind of it. I don't really have much else to say. I mean, is it the year of the Linux desktop? I'd say 2026 will be a very solid year. I mean, for me, it is. You know, it's great. But for the general user, I'd say 2026 it will be the year of the Linux desktop. But yeah, that's me. How should I end this? Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye bye.